Back to the story that we're currently monitoring. Deputy President Paul Mashatile is expected to address the 8th Annual Ubuntu Awards on behalf of President Cyril Ramaphosa. The award ceremony is aimed at recognizing South African industry leaders, eminent persons, as well as ordinary South African citizens for their distinguished service and contribution to promoting South Africa's national interests as well as values across the world. Now, SABC News reporter Bulelani Phillipn is at the awards and has more on that story. Bulelani, have the awards started yet?
Well, welcome back again, Alicia. We are still here at the Cape Town International Convention Center. This is where the Ubuntu Awards will be hosted by the Department of International Relations and Cooperations. As I speak to you now, it's beginning to fill up quite nicely as we head closer to that 7 o'clock when the awards are going to begin. And of course, I've just seen some notable faces coming in. I see just off picture the Secretary to Parliament, Mr. Bulelani George. I see also the Public Protector, Advocate Koleka Galeka. And I saw just a short while ago the Minister of International Relations and Cooperations, Dr. Naledi Pandor, who is, of course, at the moment briefing the Deputy President, Paul Mashatile. Of course, the Deputy President will deliver the keynote address at around 7:20, and we will be bringing you that speech live here on SABC News. Of course, the person who knows more about the Ubuntu Awards is Alvin Botes, the Deputy Minister of International Relations and Cooperations. Deputy Minister, thank you so much for your time once again. The significance of these awards, of course, we're coming from a marathon week of events of the State of the Nation address, but today it's a celebratory tone.
Yeah, today, Bulelani, is really about celebrating excellence in the world of diplomacy. We are recognizing the anchors of South Africa's foreign policy across various fields. We speak about economic diplomacy, we speak about sports and cultural diplomacy, we speak about those champions on behalf of the South African people and government that have engaged substantively on matters of, African solidarity and global solidarity. So today really it's a recognition that government is but one key important player, but non-state actors has a pivotal role in anchoring our foreign policy.
Of course, these awards started in 2015. Are you beginning to see more people being recognized as the years go on?
Yes, of course. It's a versatile of agents that on behalf of South Africa's people and government are executing our foreign policy. You would recall, for example, black coffee was recognized. We have recognized Aziz Pahat. We have recognized Wade van der Kerk. We have recognized MTN for economic diplomacy, etc. So I think this is it's actually a reflection of the deepening of and the repository of the various actors within foreign policy space that lets South Africa actually look good.
All right, the President in his State of the Nation address did mention that South Africa is still continuing playing part in the Africa Peace Initiative in resolving the Russia and Ukraine conflict. Are you beginning to see any light in that space?
Well, you'll remember it's a 10-point plan, obvious plan pivoted by the African heads of states and of government. What we have seen, there has been significant progress made in regards to the exchange of prisoners of wars. You have seen progress made in relation to the children from the Donbas region that had to be taken back, to their families. What obviously is still missing in relation to the African Peace Initiative is the willingness of both Moscow and Kiev to sit around the table. That is key and critical. You'll remember the last time was with the Istanbul process, where we had negotiations, mediations that was facilitated. So this year, President Ramaphosa once again will obviously ensure that we heighten areas of commonality in relation to peace diplomacy, because what is key and critical is that we need Ukraine, we need the Russian Federation to engage on substantive detail to bring about de-escalation, to bring about cessation of hostilities. That is in the interest not only of Europe, but it's in the interest of Africa and the rest of the world.
Lastly, before I let you go, South Africa has taken to The Hague in the International Court of Justice. Why did South Africa choose that route instead of the International Criminal Court? And I ask that in the sense that we're now beginning to see whether there are consequences for that route that you've taken, whether politically, economically.
Well, I think you'll appreciate there's been big debates in terms of the International Criminal Court, the ICC, in particular as it relates to its charging of African leaders and the charging of President Putin on the eve of the 15 BRICS Summit of Heads of State and of Government. There's been a plethora of discussions, but remember the limitation in terms of the Rome Statute is that substantively an indictment can only be issued to individuals. Juxtapose that obviously with the ICJ, where remedial action is engaged with as it relates to a state. So our prayers to the International Court of Justice was not directed to the head of government, the Prime Minister of Israel. It was directed in relation to the overarching conduct of the Israeli state. And that is obviously, the significant, difference between the choices that we have exercised. Obviously, the issues has been raised whether South Africa are ready to face political, economic, and personal consequences for our decisions. And our response, obviously, from DIRCO is that global solidarity is a principal foreign policy priority. You can't engage in global solidarity and then say that if you compromise on global solidarity as it relates to economic diplomacy, you must make a choice. There's no choice for South Africa. What we must continue to pivot is the mantra of Nelson Mandela that the freedom of South Africa cannot be complete if you don't have the freedom of the Palestine people, because we speak about self-determination, the choice of a people to stay in the land of their forefathers. And that is really the debate. It's about self-determination. We had our privilege in 1994 through casting, a democratic ballot, and we want the Palestine people to equally have the privilege also for the issues about universal suffering, but also the land dispossession issue.
I'm out of time. Just a quick one. Did the minister receive threats?
Well, the minister have received threats, and our SSA are obviously analyzing that, but she's a principled woman and we give accolades to that.
All right, thank you so much. Alvin Botes, the Deputy Minister for International Relations and Cooperations. On that note, we'll cross back to you in studio.
All right, that is, of course, Bulelani Phillipn there at the Ubuntu Awards out in Cape Town.